Hello everyone, I hope you're well. Do you ever ask the question to yourself, how do I truly know I'm talking to my celestial guides? Now, that is one of the most often asked questions I get through my work. And I think this week I've had two people ask me already. So I just thought I'd come on and go through some pointers to help you and just really sort of how to know and then really how to work on developing that so you do know, because you've got a thought that comes back into your head after asking your guide a question or a feeling or a sensation, or you're thinking, well, where's the signs? How do I know that they've heard me? How do I know that this is correct for me, what's been given? So really it's getting to know your body is you. So I'm going to give you some pointers, probably 20 altogether. I've got down here, I've written out. So you have to excuse me because I can't remember all of this in my head. I'm going to read it out to you. So, and then on each one, I'll give a little bit of support about how it's affected me as well in my journey. So I know when I started out, really knowing there was something more than my 3D reality I was living in, and started to read books about angels and the afterlife and ghosts and whatever else I was being drawn into, to find out knowledge. And then did my Reiki. That's when I first visually saw my guides, which is an amazing moment. And I started to get conversations with my guides. And I I did doubt it, and I had to learn to get to know my guides and me. So the first thing I did really was sitting myself in a calm space, sitting, scanning myself, getting to know who I am as Sharon, sitting in that space, my physical self, my ethereal self. And then I learned that I had to be calm and feel that the message I was getting back, or the feelings I was getting back, or the signs I was getting back was supportive to what I'd asked. It's not urgent or overwhelming response. It's a calm, serene response is what you get back, or a feeling. The response would offer you clarity rather than confusion. And one of the simplest methods is learning to ask a question and ask for a yes or a no. The first thing that comes in your head is the answer. So the yes is the answer, or the no would be the answer. If you then think, hang on a minute, I don't quite agree with that. Actually, I wanted it to be no. That's your ego stepping in. Then you start to question what information has been given you. And then you might stick calm again and say, is this a yes or a no? And you'll get the yes again, which is what you got the first time. So that's a way of building up the clarity with the guides that you're getting the correct response. It feels different from your usual thinking. So what that means, it's more neutral or insightful. It's a calmer response because we've got very busy, chattery minds, haven't we? And it's all quick responses, listening to other people, listening to news, listening to the radio. It's all very busy. So the response would be more neutral and insightful, more wisdom than probably you would normally encounter. You receive the same message repeatedly. Now, if it was the yes message, as an example, they're giving you yes to your question, it would come in yes, yes, yes. Or they might give you a sign like a word. So say you were going to go for a job and that job was called, I don't know, it's a garden centre, Sunnydale. And you started seeing signs of suns and sunny, and and there were sunsets everywhere and all the sunshine images, and you start to see all of this. This is them giving you subtle signs that that is the right place for you. So you see what I mean? It's It can be thoughts in your head, or it could be visual signs in your head, or it could be visible signs around you. You receiving the message repeatedly is through thought signs or situations. So, you have to watch out for that. So it's a learning. When you connect with your guides and you learn and want to practice this, you have to learn to trust and build that connection with them. So, the feeling calm, it's not overwhelming, it's wisdom, it's insightful, it feels different, it feels right, is, some of the main pointers to look out for. There's a sense of an inner knowing. You trust, you feel it's right. So the answer you get or the sign you get, you will feel it's right. It's in your soul plan, it's in your intuition. There'll be an inner feeling around your heart space or your gut. Heard of gut feelings? That's quite often a good sign. And now they can go either way. The gut feeling can be this doesn't feel right, or the gut feeling is yes, I feel at peace with this answer or this sign I've been given. The guidance would be constructive, encouraging growth, not fear. If you've asked a question and something's not right for you, you're doing the yes and the no's, you will be told no. Now, if you then want to expand on that and say, well, why no? Have a pen and paper, and write down what comes in. Start to channel their messages, because they will be wanting to connect through you telepathically, because the yes and no's come telepathically, and you can expand on that. So when I channel now and I communicate with my guides as sitting here, I would be having a free-flowing telepathic conversation with them. Or if you've seen me in trance, it's through the trance connection where they come in and blend with me. There's it comes in quiet moments, I found through my life, that I can be very busy. So when I've asked my guys, is this going to be okay? I don't get an instant yes or no all the time, because I then go off and do something else. I've put out this fleeting thought, and at some point in the day, when I've sat down or I'm being retrospective about stuff, or I'm going for a walk in nature with my dog and it's distracting me from the world around me, an answer will come in, and they'll come and say, yes, put healing around this situation, and it will resolve itself. And quite often we are the bystanders of other people's troubles when we get involved, and really we should just be watching and observing. So quiet moments is when you're probably going to get your response. It could be as you go to sleep, could be in a dream. And it's just having that connection with your guides, of them subtly guiding you in the right direction. You could feel a sense of connection or presence when you've asked this question you want to ask, or this knowing you want to get from them. Could be an impression, like a sense of somebody's with you. You feel comfort. You can feel like a soft, almost like a cobweb feeling on your face. You could feel your hand or your arms brushed. You could feel a sense of being loved. And that could be, or that would be, your guide coming in, letting you know that they have heard what you're asking. You might not always get like an answer in your head, like a sentence. It might just be a knowing that they are there and they're dealing with it. So you're going to, when you start connecting with your guides and understanding that it is your true guide that's there, this will all be done in love and comfort, not in fear, and you won't feel uncomfortable. So remember that. Also, what's happening when you ask and work with your guides, they will align with your values, not something that feels harmful or off. It will feel right. You will feel connected. They will be supportive to you. It would be like a friend you can't see, but a friend that you can ask to help you. And then the trust will come that they will support you and help you, and you will learn to see the signs or get the message somehow. It leaves you feeling more centered. So when you've asked a celestial guide for support and help, or you've asked a question, when you've got your answer, or you've got those feelings, you will feel aligned and more balanced. If it's something negative that's not, should be working with you, you will not be having that. It will feel more erratic. You will feel a bit more tension and on edge. And believe me, I have experienced that. What I've done over time is just grown to work with my guides and trust and build up this energy with them through myself, working through myself, my ethereal, asking them to blend with my energy. And then you might say, well, how do you know from day one this is an actual proper guide that should be working with you? Again, look at what I've said in these few pointers. You got to feel supportive. There won't be any confusion. It won't feel harmful. It will feel perhaps neutral but insightful. It will feel right, encouraging, not fear. Meditation, stillness and relaxation will help you with this, to tune to your guides in those moments. Encouraging growth and not fear. Subtle but reassuring, and not something that feels harmful or off, as I've said. And you need to be grounded and centered for it to feel centered within you. So what we mean by that is you need to be attuned more to Mother Earth, enjoy nature, be aware of our world around us. And when you're aware of your world around you and who you are as your physical 3D self in this 3D reality we're in, when the higher celestials touch you that are correct for you, you will feel nothing but love and support. And as I've said, if you feel something else, it's not correct. So how do you deal with it if it's not correct? You say, please ask the highest and the best and the light to come in for me and to take away that negative feeling and bring me a sign of love, and wait for that feeling to come around you. So how can you support this? How can you help this grow for you? So I've got some pointers here for you now. Create regular quiet time. Stillness helps you notice the subtle thoughts and feelings that your guides could try and telepathically connect to you and blend into your energy. Practice meditation, that is key. I had to really learn, I did Reiki, then I did meditation. I was in like something for 3 years. I did that, part of my learning, and the meditation really helped me to see, sense and know my guides. So I would see them visually, I would see them clairvoyantly, I could hear them telepathically, and I would get glimpses of stuff. And I got glimpses of a monk for ages, and I felt really uncomfortable because I had this thing about monks and you couldn't see their faces. It was just like, why would this be my guide? But I accepted it and went with it because it didn't feel horrible. And then I found out when I had my first trance workshop I did with someone else, where they were going to start channeling through me. He came forward and his hood was back and I could see who he was. And he was like one of my lead guides, and he'd been a monk in the 16th century and been part of those beautiful scripted books they did. And he was one of the philosophers of the time, and his name was Harold. I felt he was French, actually, medieval times. So and that was my introduction to him. So I knew then that's who I'd been seeing for all those years, but I hadn't been ready back then to know him. But I knew he was okay, even though I had a bit of a thing about monks. So see what I mean? It's like learning to sense that it's right, asking, is this right for me? Yes. Is this wrong? No. Practice meditation, as I said. Even a few minutes builds focus and awareness for you. And that calming of the mind is when they're going to connect. I've probably said this story before. My guides connect me when I go to the toilet. And most people laugh when I say this, but I go off for a wee and I sit there and I'm doing my business, and I've focused on the now. I'm focusing on what I'm doing, and I'll get a message in as quick as that, because they've grabbed me. I'm not worrying about what I've just done. I'm not worrying what I'm going to do afterwards. I've literally just focused on that. Boom. So it's learning to be mindful as well as meditation. Grounding yourself is very key. We mentioned that earlier. So it connects to your body and daily life to keep you balanced. And grounding is very key. As I said earlier, it's just to keep you in the earth energy. So as you become more and more connected to your guides, you can become more used to the higher energy, and they become more used to adjusting to your energy, because you're working as a team here. you won't become too over elevated, because of being over elevated and highly bouncing around because of this energy, you could actually lose sleep and become a bit unwell. So it's very key to get that balance of energy when you want to communicate and work with your guides. Always ask a clear question. This is key. Don't go fully pulling around the bush. Make it clear and decisive, because and don't make it a three-part question, because how do you know? Yes, it might be yes for one, no for the other, and a yes. If you've got a 3 or 4 part question, do it 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a very good way of doing it. And then write down what you get. Journaling is very key for this. It helps you track patterns and insights as well to what you get. And when you look back on it, you'll see how you've grown over the months or years. Stay consistent. Small, regular practice is more effective than occasional effort. So meditation, calming your mind, some mindfulness, asking your guides to come and be in your space, see what you sense. Set that intention to work with the highest and the best all of the time. You deserve nothing but the best and the highest. I can tell you that, in the purest love. Make sure that's what you ask for from day one. Don't think of anything else. Limit the distractions, reduce the noise so you can focus inward. So again, you're doing that in meditation or stuff. But if you're out and about in the world and you've got your headphones on or you're on your phone and you've been asking your guides for a bit of help, how are you going to hear or see it if you're busy with all these distractions? Check what you receive. If it doesn't make sense, feel steady and help you. Then what I do now is if I get something they're asking me to give out and I don't understand what it is, so some knowledge or something, I go back to them and say, can you explain this to me more? Because I can't give out knowledge unless I understand it, because somebody's going to ask me about it. So I always ask, and obviously I'm an advanced channeler now, and I'm having free-flowing conversations with them, these beautiful celestial beings, to them to get their knowledge out. But when you first start out, it can be just yes, no's. Now, one of the things I did do, thinking about it, when I look back, I started off with a pack of angel cards, because I didn't realise I was doing this. Nobody had led me to what to do. And the angel cards acted as the guides giving me a card each day for my day and giving me a message through those cards. So I got to know this pack of cards and it became my tool to connect with them. Then I got a pendulum. Now the pendulum, I was a bit, I wasn't wary at the time I got it, but I became wary afterwards, is that I would ask yes or no, and it was swing one way for yes, swing one way for no, and I used it quite a lot, and I built the energy up so much it was spinning, and it would spin like this. And in the end, somebody it was one of my tutors at the time, she didn't know I'd been using a pendulum, and she said to me, Sharon, have you been using a pendulum? And I went, yeah. She said, stop it. My guides are saying you must stop using that. It's not accurate for you. So I did. I never used it again. I never recommended it to anybody. But I do know healers who use them over the body for the chakras and things, and the guides use them that way. But for me personally, I've heard that not honest answers will come through the pendulum, that it creates an energy field. The guide is there, you're trying to connect to, but other things can come in quite quickly and give the wrong answer and influence it greatly, apparently. So that was why. So checking what you receive is important, and if you don't understand it, then go back and ask. And if you feel the answer isn't what your ego wants, give yourself a day or so to reflect it and just say, is this really right for me? I'm feeling something else. And just be honest with your guides. The yes and no's, as I said earlier, the first answer comes in as the correct answer for you. If you felt it was something else, and you can say to your guides, well, actually, I feel this about it. And then say, do you have any guidance for me? And again, the journaling would help with that. So when you journal, get yourself a lovely journal and a lovely pen and sit in the silence, or have a little bit of gentle music, whatever's right for you. and not to be disturbed, and just ask a question and just write down what you get back. Again, go back to those first pointers. It's not overwhelming, it's calm, it's simple, it's insightful, it's wisdom. It's no anger with it, no harm with it. You feel it's right, you feel it's coming from the heart. So always remember that. Take practical steps, act on useful insights in real life. So if you suddenly get an insight and you feel something's right for you to do, it could be your guides just pass this energy into you. And if it feels right, okay, I will do that. So that's another way the guides communicate with you. There's so many ways they can communicate with us. It's surprising we can ever get to this point where we can have these amazing conversations. The other thing is to look after yourself. If you're not well, you're down, or you're emotional, you're going to have real trouble connecting with your guides in a pure way. So sleep, food and routine matter more than people think. Just really make sure you're good. Drink lots of water, eat well, sleep well. If you get any worries, learn to sit and give love around the situations. Send healing round. Now, when you send healing, that's coming from your guides as well as you. So when you remotely send healing from your head, I'm sending healing, say, to Mrs. Bloggs over there because she's a bit sad today. Your guides will know who she is. Your guides and her guides will interact to help give her healing. And it's like an energy that goes through the multiverse line you're on. And they will get that healing to where she is, or the situation. But it can take time for it to work, and it might be that person's here to learn a catalyst event in their life, and it might be what's just happened to them as supposed to, and it might not always seem to get better as quick as you'd like it to. So you have to be quite open-minded to, even though you want to help others, sometimes they're on their own path. A strong connection usually comes from a mix of attention, consistency and staying grounded rather than anything dramatic. And it really is, the guidance has got to be helpful, grounding to you and insightful and supportive. If you ever feel anything else, it's not right. That's why it's important to know who you are as you before you really start connecting with your guides. When I do any work with my students, online or in the room here with my teaching space, I do a meditation with them. We start off with knowing your body, your physical self. Have you got any stress? And send the healing to it. Know who you are in the chair. Then connect to your ethereal self, which connects to the universe, and we expand out into the universe and come back in again before we invite any guides in. And it's so you learn to know who you are. So when you do have that interaction with your guides and you feel a presence, or you feel that energy, you see colours, or you get words, or you get messages, or you just get a feeling that's right for me to do today, then it's right. It's just, you've got to work at it, to be honest. There's no magic wand. And that's what my journey's been. It's been over, I don't know, how old am I now? It sort of came to me year 2000. I think I really started to become more aware of other things. I'd always been aware as a child and things happened, but I didn't really open up to say, okay, what's this? I'm going to do something about it until then. And it's taken me years, and I'm still learning now. But I have this amazing relationship with these celestial beings, and I'm just so grateful for it and the love they give. And I tell you, love is behind all of this. If you're not feeling love, I wouldn't say you're connected to a guide. You have to feel love. They can't, the type of love they give and support, you can't, you can only find it from working with them. It's more than the love you find on earth with a loved one or a child. It's a higher energy. So I'm going to leave that with you. I hope this helps give some answers, but basically you do need to work with your team of guides, and you need to just trust and learn to grow with them and really become intuitive and know yourself to know them, if that makes sense. I hope it does, guys. I'll leave that with you. So take care, everyone. Bye.